uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Salute to everyone. And appreciate everyone that's in the building. Let me take some time and pull this up for you right quick like. So, alert to new news is breaking on the incident that happened last year. Now, I know, let me see who's in the chat. Mr. Paz, what's good? Salute, I'm surprised because of the type of crime committed, but not the fact that he committed crime. Nah, I'm not surprised both ways, dog. You say you surprised because of the type of crime. What? But not of the fact that he committed it. Both go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? The type and the person who committed it. But listen, let me read you this article. This is the first one from TMZ, right? It says boxing star Jermell Charlo charged with making terroristic threat. Officials seek an arrest warrant. It goes on to say more trouble for the Charlo twins. TMZ Sports has learned officials are seeking an arrest warrant for Jermell Charlo after he was charged with making terroristic threat in the fall. According to the court documents, the criminal charge stems from the same alleged September 5th, 2021 incident that Jermell Charlo, Jermell's twin brother, was arrested for last month. Officials say in the document that 21-year-old man claiming to be the boxing star's cousin was roughed up by Jermell and threatened by Jermell during an incident at Jermell's Fort Bend County, Texas home. There go the Charlo twins. I'm pretty sure y'all can distinguish who is Maul and Mel. Moving on. In the docs, the alleged victim say Jermell punched him 3 times, grabbed his hair because he didn't get out of a utility task vehicle quickly enough for Jermell's wife to go with her friends. Officials say the alleged victim told them while the assault was taking place, Jermell threatened him by saying, "I will kill you with my bare hands." I repeat, they said Jermell threatened him by saying, "I will kill you with my bare hands." In the docs, officials say the alleged victim complained of head pain and believe he suffered a concussion in the altercation. I just want to let that posture up a little bit. It says in the docs, officials say the alleged victim complained of head pain and believed he suffered concussion during the altercation. And this is Jermell Charlo. He looked like he had better days. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go into detail on what it looks like and everything else, but he looked rough, man. Like, you know, they came in the dark of the night, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? And he was asleep. It goes on to say Jermell was hit with a felony charge of assaulting a family household member, and he turned himself into authorities in early February. He's due in court for the hearing on the matter later this month. Jermell, meanwhile, has not yet been arrested over the misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor terroristic threat charge. Records show. The twins' attorney, Kent Schaefer, previously told us the whole incident was an attempt. Here where it gets interesting. It gets very, very interesting that you have to really process it. All right. The incident, an attempt to shake. Pay attention to the word shake Jermell down for money. Now, in street terms, you trying to pretty much dig into the pockets. You know what I'm saying? For some ulterior motives because you don't have what they have. That's pretty much in street terms up. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to hit them up because you don't have what they have. You know what I'm saying? It might be some jealousy in there. As they told us, the whole incident was an attempt to shake Jermell down for money. When we reached out to him again for comment on the allegations against Jermell, he elaborated further. So this family member is pretty much giving you what you want. He's a flibbity gibbet. Remember that word, a flibbity gibbet. He's a garrulous individual, love talking. Schaefer tells us Jermell was having a big party at his house when he says the alleged victim was recklessly riding around on a four-wheeler. Schaefer says Jermell's wife tried to get the man to stop and reach into the UTV to take the keys, but Schaefer said the man took off, causing her to fall to the ground. Now, let's just take a minute. Take a minute. Take a minute on those two sentences right there. I don't know what's going on over there in the Charlo compound, but why is your wife out here trying to do physical work with a family member that might have been intoxicated to begin with? And if he's riding a UTV around, right? Why is she out there trying to stop this guy and trying to take the keys? And obviously he's been riding reckless, right? You heard them say he's been riding. The victim was recklessly riding around on a four-wheeler. Why is his wife up there inserting herself into such an aggressive situation? So I'm pretty sure once she fell to the ground, it goes on to say Schaefer said Jermell came out to defend his wife and eventually pulled the man out of the vehicle, causing him to fall. Schaefer said Jermell then came out and told him to stop it, but never made a threat. It's total garbage, 100%, Schaefer said of the claims against the twins. We will win the fight in the first round. Okay. King Mitch, what's good? Now, I know it's plenty of people on here that's like, shit, WCS and said some things. Don't think too highly of the Charlo twins. But in this case, growing up in the South and seeing uncles and aunties and cousins and shit do some dumb shit like this. Now, don't think for 1 minute I'm talking about we was riding around on UTVs. No, we wasn't in that pay grade. We was riding around on Huffy bicycles and shit like that. But if he came out there to defend his wife because that idiot was out there taking advantage of being in a place where his relatives have that type of lifestyle, they have the toys, they have the fruits of their labor out there. He's riding around being stupid. You know what I say to that? It's always one, and he's that one. I don't fault the Charlos in this case at all. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If your wife is out there, that's the one problem I have. But she tried to take the keys out and that dude pulled off and my girl laid on the ground. Yeah, hands are going to be thrown. Absolutely. Because back in the day when somebody say, hey man, I'll choke you out with my hand, I'll kill you with my bare, it wasn't a goddamn terroristic threat. It was just, hey, you was making a threat and you just have to, own up to it. It was pretty much you was letting it know what was on your mind. But time has changed and everybody want to pay attention to old shit and recreate new laws for what we used to do coming up in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? Shit that nobody cared about. All of a sudden, you make millions and your cousin called the police. and say he was concussed. He think he was concussed. Now, first of all, your cousin knew that he was over there and he had relatives, both of them are boxers, champion boxers at that. Both of these cats are boxers now. Now, automatically, you know what type of temper one of them have. And it seems like in this case, Mel was on some cool ass, carefree, I'm gonna be the mediator type shit. Maul was upset at the fact that his wife was trying to take the keys away from a vehicle that is in their possession. They are the owners of their vehicle. And you got a motherfucking fucked up, envious cousin who get over there and was probably real fucked up, feeling nice, and he don't have no respect for them. Period. So for them to issue a warrant to Jermell Charlo, I can see where this is coming from. You know what I'm saying? And, even if Jermell said what he said, at the end of the day, these brothers might have problems. But when it comes to a situation like this, where we don't know the extent of how much, drama this cousin is caused in the past, is he one of them leeching ass cousins? Them cousins are always trying to be a part of a family, a part of the Charlo's freaking what's the TV show I was thinking about? Damn. But he's just trying to be a part of that affluent lifestyle, the rich and the famous. No, I was about to say the rich and the Charlos. He's trying to be a part of the rich and the Charlos, and he hasn't made the money to. So every time he get around them, he's the biggest mouth in the bunch. You would think he was the fighter. And that's where I think this is stemming from. I think Mark Charlo went up there and put hands on him for show. Absolutely, I believe he did. Why not? Can't miss a punk ass cousin. But let me stop sharing that. King Mitch, salute, brother. You don't deserve money if your cousin snuffs you a few times. Knock my wife over, I get to punch you, especially if we're cousins. Yeah, family has changed, man. The whole entire um the way things happen this day and time with telling, cats really don't care about snitching no more. Even family members. This dude is willing to throw away being around family members such as the Charlos, his cousins, right? And just say, okay, he punched me, but he's not recognizing what he did wrong. He's not taking accountability. That's been a guy who's been jealous for quite some time. And when they talk about he's trying to shake us down for money, I believe it. Because why would you say, okay, let me take this to court? And you know damn well across your family tree, you don't have too many of them living like the Charlos right now. You happen to be a part of the rich and the Charlos. I believe his cousin is an idiot. You always have that one rambunctious cousin, man, to take advantage of shit, and they make you shake your head like, damn, dog, you don't want to be a part. You family. Like, why are you treating us like that? You family. So I agree with him, man. If he got punched in the dome, good. Wait, so family member reported him to the police? Absolutely, they did. And that's the same thing Jamal Charlo was arrested for the other when this initially broke. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Goes Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute to you, OG. How you feeling, bro? He said, salute my brother Scotty. Salute to you there, Bruce. Appreciate you pulling up. Bruce hoped the dinner was good. Bruce say he had a bagel with peanut butter, dog. It did the trick till he had dinner in an hour or so. I hear that, man. That's that old people food right there. That's what we do. We grab shit that's gonna fill us up, hold us over until we get the dang full entree. We have a bagel and shit. The fact that he had to go to the police rather than take a few days to calm down and then have a conversation with Jamal and hash it out, is odd to me. It's like he's being an opportunist, and that's what they saying, and that's what we both can see. This cousin full of shit, man. He's been jealous for quite some time, bro. This cousin's been plotting and scheming for this situation. Look, they was having a party. So I'm going to assume this particular rambunctious, naive, juvenile cousin who always causing shit, he'll be the first one to go to the club and try to start a fight with a motherfucker and goddamn know that the Charlo twins are going to get him out of jail. I think he was, feeling right, and he was driving reckless on the UTV. But the only thing about it, Jamal Charlo his wife shouldn't have been involved in something like that, because she could have been seriously hurt, and Jamal Charlo could have choked that dude to death. He could have did something more seriously than piece him up. And then for him to get pieced up and then say he felt concussed, of course, it's bare knuckles, man. You're talking about professional fighters. You're talking about professional fighters, bro. Real talk. But I'm on the side of the Charlos on this one. For real. Because it seems like this cousin, his entire motive is to get some type of money, some type of punitive damage. You know what I'm saying? Some type of pain and suffering for being punched. But to be honest, reading a story and shit, I really don't think he's gonna get anything. Because for one, they're gonna look at the fact that he was driving reckless in an area where that's prohibited. And then his wife tried to take the keys to a vehicle that they're in ownership of. The cousin is gonna come off as the provocator, but it's all about, the provocator is tricky. Because this is what I learned a long time ago in the military. Because it happens in the military now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Certain individuals, I'm not gonna say race or whatever, because it can go with any race. They will provocate and tell. They will provoke and tell. They will absolutely provoke and tell. I'm thinking this cousin provoked the situation. He want to go tell. And when it comes down to them looking at who was the instigator, they're gonna say the cousin was the instigator. And then they're gonna look at how Mar Charlo came out there to defend his wife, who had been violently thrown to the ground. You know how the attorney's gonna word it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna bloviate it a little bit, make it seem a lot more suspenseful and climactic. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna say, "Oh, I came out there and I saw my wife on the ground, so I commenced the goddamn stomping him out." So the judge gonna say, Mar Charlo, were you using your feet or your hands? I was using my hand, Your Honor. That's just a slang term, stumping him out. He was on the ground. I was just tagging. I was just touching him, Your Honor. I blacked out. I don't think he's gonna get a dime. If the judge awards this cousin, who obviously had no self-control, any type of monetary reward, that just goes to show you sometimes, in this system, they don't get it right, man. Real talk. It shouldn't be nothing coming from that. They should disown this dude. They shouldn't invite him to any more functions. He's gonna miss out, because I'm pretty sure with the Charlos, they have some pretty nice gatherings over there. You know what I'm saying? They always talking about they lifestyle, they house and all that shit. I'm pretty sure you can get some family members that's feeling some type of way about that, because they know damn well they'll never have it. But then again, I don't know the entire depth of the history with this cousin and the Charlos. They might forgive him. You know how you get family members say, "Oh, so and so be wilding, man." Okay, that's so cool to be wild and driving the UTV around and acting up and arguing with relatives and shit like that. But when you take it to the public, when you take it to the police, and you get Jamal Charlo arrested, and now a warrant has been issued for Jermell Charlo, dude, you get the point. All right. I'm siding with the Charlos in this shit. His cousin on some other bullshit. For real, some fuckboy shit, some jealous type shit. You know what I'm saying? You have relatives that are stars in the sport of boxing, but yeah, you gonna fuck that shit up by being stupid. That's not even your vehicle, dog. What if he would have dragged her and she fell to the ground and one of them tires would have ran up over her? Listen, we're talking about a whole nother situation of violence. I think Mar Charlo would have goddamn beat the brakes off this dude. And we would have been talking about a whole nother situation. Real talk, man. If he would have ran over his baby's mom's, dog, his wife, it would have been a whole nother situation we talking about in the news. Young Billy Boxing on deck, man. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you pulling up. But is you know, when it comes down to it, sometimes I try to be neutral when it comes to the personal shit and the boxing and the profession. But in this case right here, man, I'm looking at the Charlos as doing what they were supposed to do. They did a little bit less than what I would think they would do. You know what I'm saying? I would expect both of these guys to be putting hands on this cousin. They should have both got arrested that night. You know what I'm saying? It's been well documented in the public eye that they've had family beef between one another. And I don't think Jermell Charlo gets along with Jamal Charlo's wife. But behind closed doors, they walk up in a family gathering. I think it's somewhat respect there. But when you get this cousin, you get this rambunctious ass cousin that's always belligerent when they start to drink, when they smoking, they always get belligerent. And somehow, some way, this motherfucker, this motherfucker know where all the damn toys are at. He'll start with the UTV, and then all of a sudden, you hear a motherfucking tire screeching. He out there in one of the sports cars. I hope they don't come back to my man so and so just be wilding. Motherfucker, family members gonna start talking to this dude. They gonna say, man, you know what you doing? The fuck is wrong with you? That's family, dog. Why are you taking this shit to the media? And he might be on some fuck that nigga shit. Like, fuck them niggas, man. I don't give a fuck. Fuck. He might be that relative, bro. We have him. Believe me. Coming from the South, I know. We have relatives like that. We have relatives like his cousin. So I hope he don't get a dime, bro. For real. If he is trying to shake him down, I hope he don't get a penny. And then they need to banish that dude, that cousin, from showing up in any more gatherings and enjoying that type of lifestyle. Cause obvious this dude ain't ready for that shit. This dude ain't ready for that lifestyle in that company. He's not ready for those type of festivities in the neighborhood of affluency that the Charlos live in. He's not ready for that. He's not mature enough to be around people like that. Even if it's his cousins and they grew up together and shit, they're on a whole nother level right now. You know that by pulling up in the neighborhood, they're on a whole nother level. His cousin know that because he's known them for quite some time. He's seen them come up and get to where they at right now. That's why he's over there at the party. They say they throwing a party. Guess what? I'm going to that shit. They got all them toys over there too. Hell yeah, I'm going to that. So ban that motherfucker, man. Don't invite him back over there. He went to the police. That's crossing the line. You should have took that ass whooping and you should have stood up and said, you know what? Hey, first of all, I want to apologize to your wife. I shouldn't have did you like that. You know what I'm saying? And then Mar Charlo, you invited me over your place. I apologize for everything, bro. Real talk. It'll never happen like that again. He should apologize right there. But his dumb ass is gonna come too. Oh, he hit me. I'm gonna go get an attorney. You're done. You done, bro. Your name is gonna be black listed in that family. Bruce say salute my brother, young Billy. Yeah, so salute to young Billy. Make sure y'all sub to the young warrior over there. They should be fighting more regularly. It would keep their minds more on boxing and less on the lifestyle. I hear you. I hear you, Bruce. But this day and time, man, these boxers be fighting once and twice a year. Because if you're making, this is the way I look at it, Bruce. If you're making the amount of money, so called when Al Hain was paying them good, let's just say, a non PPV, a fighter that's not a PPV fighter, it's 1.5 to 2 million that usually is the pay rate. You know what I'm saying? That's the pay rate. All right. So you start to do PPVs and stuff like that. We know the Charlos ain't really did anything, but they get paid pretty decent. Let's just say, he get paid in one fight that he can potentially get in two fights in a year. They're gonna take the money that they made and they're gonna chill for a little bit. In this era, these brothers call that reserving your body. If I don't have to get back and fight camp twice a year and I still get the pay stub for fighting twice a year, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fight once a year because I just got paid. But also you have the other thinkers, right? They'll look at it like, if you got paid that amount of money, let's just say it was 6 mil. You was paid 6 million for this fight. Try to fight another a second time in the calendar year, so you can make that 12. Of course, it's gonna be much lower with taxes and everything, but I'm just saying you can make that 12. You love that money. You gotta pretty much support that habit. You know what I'm saying? You are now acclimated to the fluency of that lifestyle, so you got to continue to get paid. So I really don't know exactly the amount of um, revenue. Pretty much to the Charlos, they seem to be living very well, but I don't think they really want to go in there and jump in fight camp twice a year unless they really getting some bread. Like just think if either one of them get the Canelo fight. They're gonna take that fight. It's gonna be once a year, and they ain't gonna fight nobody for the rest of the year, bro. They're gonna get that huge bag, and they say, "I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm done. I'm not. You won't see me the next summer. Fuck it. I'm done." The wife was trying to save the cousin. She knew if Maul had to take the keys, Cuz was getting his ass whooped in the first place. I agree. But still, I wouldn't want mine up there. Shalom WCS. It's Terrence Bud Crawford today, tomorrow, and forever. I appreciate that, Ben. Thanks for joining the team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Ben. But I think we'll hear a little bit more of it down the line about this situation. And once again, whatever the Charlos, whatever steps they took, whether it was a terroristic threat, which back in the day it was just common, to talk your shit, say, I'll do this, I'll whoop your ass, I'll do this, and this, that, and the other. That wasn't considered no terroristic threat. But now shit is a whole lot more sensitive. You know what I'm saying? When people make a threat to you, it's according to where you at, of course. That shit is sent to the high heavens as if it's the ultimate sin, bro. But then you get called the N-word. They treat that like, come on. Really? As long as this been out, do you really think he was, truly being offensive? I mean, come on. People be trying to downplay that shit, man. But anyway, shout out to Ben Israel on deck. You know what I'm saying? I think he saw the thumbnail of the Charlos. He said, "Let me go over here and defend the Charlos." But nope, not that type of live. I'm totally siding with the Charlos in this and this particular situation right here. Why? Because I think the cousin got off light. Now, what does concern me about the Charlos is that, the situation with the waitress, I believe that was dropped, I believe. And then him being arrested for putting hands on his cousin. I don't see them as troublemakers, so to speak. But for a little misdemeanor, a little basic, simple shit like this, I don't think they too worried about it, to be honest with you. I don't think they too worried about it. I think it's just a simple, they understand it's a misdemeanor. They totally look, they totally look at boxing like boxing doesn't have no guideline or standards. Like if you do little simple shit like this, they ain't worried. Look, Javante Davis, I thought he was supposed to go to court for the hit and run. I haven't heard too much about it on the news. They say he was going to go March of 2022. It's the 9th of March. I haven't heard anything about it. Real talk, I haven't heard anything. I can't really speak on that because all we know is, it was a hit and it was a accident that Javante Davis, had an intersection, and it was 4 people in a vehicle, and they probably seen a sports car, and all of them all of a sudden came down with an acute whiplash, acute symptoms of whiplash. All right. While Javante and whoever his passenger was fleed the vehicle into another one and left allegedly. So we haven't heard from that. You know what I'm saying? I'm switching the subject now from the Charlos to something else. But I did hear that Floyd is moving the fight date for Rolly and Javante now. The fight date is being moved, dog. I don't, I hope this fight, it's already been postponed once, all right? And now it's about to be postponed again. I'm just trying to see if we ever going to get this fight because I think people really want to see this fight with Rolly Romero and Javante. People might laugh at what I just said, but Rolly Romero hasn't been tested yet. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackson Mariñez didn't have the power to test Rolly. He outboxed the shit out of him. His ears was on the motherfucking canvas. Mariñez boxed the ears off Rolly. But when it comes to Javante and being that he's the heaviest hitter in the game right now, and Rolly Romero saying he's the heaviest hitter in the game and he's going to knock Javante out, he's give you that brawling type of style versus a boxer who has the power to cut the lights out on the right fighter. Now, the dilemma comes into play that people are really respecting Rolly Romero's chin for some reason. Being that he's never stepped in there with somebody like Javante, but they believe that Rolly, he's special. Some people believe that Rolly is a special type of dude in the different sense that, he's a type of dude that, you know what I'm saying, that they used to headbutt brick walls, man. And he'd be bleeding from his forehead. See, I told you, I'm tough. I'm tough, man. I don't give a fuck, dog. Give a fuck. Rolly used to be the guy who walk up to a school bus and headbutt that motherfucker. Put his head through a window. So man, I'm crazy. I'm loco. Rolly comes off of that type of dude. And then it's even more momentum that Isaac Cruz was able to go in there and go the distance, right? And they're thinking, if Isaac Cruz was able to get through, Rolly Romero, he might have an opportunity. He might have a chance, dog. He might have a chance to make this fight very, very entertaining. Because for one thing I know about Rolly, he don't give a damn, dog. Rolly is that fighter that was always on the apron when they had, what was the doghouse rules, the doghouse rules over there at Mayweather's gym. He was always that one when he found out that was going on. Rolly was the first one to have his hands wrapped and with his gloves 15, 30 minutes before the first fight would take place. Rolly Romero, the only way he warmed up, he started punching himself in the head. That's Rolly, dog. He started punching himself in the head. Motherfuckers go there for the first time to Mayweather's gym. and they about to get in there, and they just like, damn, who that motherfucker over there punching himself in the face? He's like, oh, you'll see. He's gonna be in here, and then you can tell some of the way that he fights, the cross face, the forearm to the throat. That's doghouse shit. Real talk. That's doghouse shit. That's that dirty boxing. No referee in that motherfucker. Cross facing your opponent, throwing elbows on the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's what Rolly. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to cut Javante too. Remember, I told you that. I think Rolly's gonna try to cut Javante. He's gonna try to rough him up and cut him early. So he's gonna have to deal with that cut the rest of the fight. Watch what I tell you, bro. This is gonna be a dirty game. Because Rolly feels that he's stronger than Javante. He feels like he has more power than Tank. And he's gonna try to go in there and prove it. Because if he beats Tank, I ain't gonna lie to you, Rolly shit. But you're not gonna be able to tell him nothing. You know what I'm saying? I have no reason to be honest with you. Right? I think Rolly's a good dude. I mean, from my personal experience, like I said, I had a situation where he went and picked up my camera hood that rolled inside the lines up there near the weigh-in. Rolly being a fighter, he went up underneath the barrier. He picked my shit up, and I ain't asking to. Appreciate that. And then, just seeing him interact with people or whatever. So he probably heard some of my lives where I was just criticizing with the Jackson Mourinho's fight. Boxers listen, but it's not personal. It's just, I tell him, I don't think you won the fight. How he takes it, some fighters are sensitive, some are not. But, I feel genuinely like Roller's a good dude and he just want to make it. He had a very shallow amateur. He started late and he's been trying to make a name for himself. Fighting more regularity doesn't avoid your punk ass cousin doing some bullshit at a family gathering. Lifestyle ain't got shit to do with having your family over the crib. Lifestyle ain't got shit to do with having your family over to the crib. Yeah, it does. Shit. If you got a basic lifestyle, believe me, your family's not gonna join. Like if you don't have really anything going on that they're interested in, yeah, it has something to do if you superstars, you know what I'm saying? If you on the level of the Charlos. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear Whiplash, I think of Cooley High when Preach was driving a stolen car like Earnhardt. Yeah, man, all them cats in the car, when they found out it was a sports car, man, they all talking to each other. Hey, everybody injured. Just lay there. Moan, groan, move around, grab your neck. All them cats. I think they probably getting paid out of court. Seriously, I think he broke them off something out of court so he won't go to trial. I'm not sure. I'm just assuming. I'm not sure because from my understanding, he's getting ready for Rolly. And we haven't really heard anything about this case again. Because I've been looking. I remember since last year. I've been trying to find out. But he's supposed to be getting ready for Rolly Romero, dog. I hope Rolly get it together and he's able to make this fight because, hearing him on live talking about he wanted to buy his mom and get his mom a house or something like that, that hit home like, damn, Rolly, he actually has a good heart. He want to buy his mom something before he get himself something. You know what I'm saying? So that was good, but I'm definitely not going for him in that fight though. I'm definitely going for Tank. And, that's just the way it is. Rolly is still on the proving grounds. He's trying to build himself up to get to that point where people look at him as a legitimate boxer, a threat. Now, I would rather, to be honest, I would have rather seen Rolly Romero fight Ryan Garcia first before Tank. But to be honest with you, when you have a pound for pound Duck Masters Coalition member You know how that's gonna go. Ryan Garcia ain't gonna fight him, man. He's a duck master, dog. He's not gonna fight Rolly. That's a dangerous fight for Ryan. And I truly believe that Rolly will give Ryan Garcia problems. But since they have a history with the sparring and all that, it would have been great to see them, lock up and get that fight. But even more so, Javante Davis and Rolly is good too. In-house fighters. You know what I'm saying? In-house fighters, bro. What can you say? In-house fighters, bro. But y'all keep your ear to the street for that Charlo situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal for them, but just keep your ear to the street with that. The good thing is, moving on, is that a division lower, Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez first face off will be April 30th. You know what I'm saying? Their first face off. That's going to be a good fight, man. That is going to be a good fight right there. Now, I hope it's not one sided. I just hope it's a competitive scrap. That's all. I hope it's not one of these technical fights where, both fighters are waiting to be counter strikers. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? But their first face off is supposed to go down at the MGM Grand, Las Vegas, for the unification fight Saturday, April 30th. You know what I'm saying? WBO 130-pound champion Stevenson, 17-0, 9 knockouts, will be on deck. He will be facing WBC world champion Oscar Valdez, 30-0, 23 knockouts. Looking at the record alone, it seems like this should be interesting. Valdez does possess knockout power. Shakur Stevenson does possess the technical boxing skills to go out here and make this an education. Who's gonna be able to disrupt the rhythm of the other fighter? Who's gonna be able to delegate the proper offensive strategy? Who's gonna be the smarter fighter? This is gonna be a big fight for both of these guys. Real. Like, people are gonna say, well, Miguel Burchelt was the best fighter that Valdez has stepped in there with. For Stevenson, this is going to be the best fight because he's been calling out Valdez for quite some time. This is going to be the best name on his resume. But in order for people to say that Shakur Stevenson is going to be the best on Valdez, he has to go in there and perform outstanding, because a lot of people don't put Shakur Stevenson on Miguel Burchelt. I'm not speaking for the masses. I'm just saying. Many people thought Oscar Valdez lost his last fight, but you know how boxing is. When you have a dangerous fight, man, people bypass you, keep it moving, and then especially if Conseil, he didn't he submit some type of paperwork for them to review the decision, and nothing came of it. It goes on to say that Stevenson is confident about his skills. I'm going to say this, and the people can hate me for saying this because I'm bold and don't care because I take risks. I'm a risk taker, says Shakur Stevenson to Fight Hype. I say what's on my mind. I feel like if Canelo was in my way, I would beat Canelo. I feel like my style, distance, and I'm a boxer. The way that Floyd Mayweather Jr. picked him apart, I would do the same. That's my honest opinion. So hearing Shakur Stevenson speak as he does, right? I'm not frowning upon it because, real talk, I believe that Shakur Stevenson thinks 100% of what he believes genuinely, what he said. He believes that's how it'll play out. Now, us looking at Canelo's in, man, the gap in between them is tremendous. I don't even see Canelo being around the sport long enough. It might happen, bro. The amount of money Canelo, I don't see him being around long enough for Shakur Stevenson to finally get up to a division where you have Canelo as one of your compeers in the same division? I don't think so. And by that time, Canelo will be old. He'd be the Manny Pacquiao, and people be looking at themselves like, why is Canelo still fighting? Why? This man has made incredible amount of money. Why is he still fighting? Shakur Stevenson goes on to say people can take it how they want. Canelo could tell them whatever they want. He said Canelo could tell them whatever they want. I don't just got Terrence Crawford. I'm close to Andre Ward, said Stevenson on the Two Schools. Canelo versus Terrence Crawford. That would be involved in his fight. Canelo versus Terrence Crawford. That would be involved in his fight with Oscar Valdez. I was on the phone with Floyd 2 weeks ago, said Stevenson. My style is more so in that type of slick boxing style. It's going to be a good fight. He's a tough fighter, Shakur said of Valdez. I can't take nothing away from him, but feel like I'm the better fighter. Most definitely. That's why it's the biggest fight in boxing, said Stevenson. When told that his match against Valdez be one involving the American style versus the Mexican style. Do y'all believe that shit? Do you believe it's going to be the American style versus the Mexican style? He goes on to say, we're the best fighters in boxing. We're both undefeated. And we both got a lot to lose and put a big risk on the line. I feel like it's going to be a great fight, but I'm the better fighter, and I'm going to outclass him. I'm going to be better than him I'm going to be better than him and beat him up. I'm going to do whatever I said I was going to do. Shakur Stevenson, man. Look, I believe he feels the way he does, and every word. He had a lot to say. That's Shakur Stevenson, man. I feel like you should put me on the pound for pound list. And I feel like I'm one of the best fighters in boxing after I dismantle him. He said dismantle, y'all. You remember when they asked him about Nakathilia? He said it's gonna be a massacre. It didn't quite turn out to be a massacre, but words, right? He said, I'm telling you that on April 30th, I'm going to put on a show. I don't think like that, said Stevenson when asked if he'll be able to work himself through a moment if he's hurt by Valdez on April 30th. I don't know what y'all think. I don't think like that. But it's boxing. Anything is possible. I know that if that moment did come, I got a lot of heart in me, a lot of dog in me, and I'm fully prepared for whatever it takes to win. I got some Puerto Rican in me. My father is Puerto Rican. I'm not one of those dudes that are going to be faking. He said his father's Puerto Rican. If y'all didn't know, Shakur Stevenson looked like a Puerto Rican and black. If y'all didn't know. I didn't meet my father until I was 18, but I did meet him, and it was a lot of love from both sides, said Shakur. Stevenson is going to need, okay, that's all. I don't really want to get into the article. But he said he got that Puerto Rican in him. He said it's a new challenge. It's a new challenge going for a new belt. And that's something I always wanted, said Oscar Valdez to True School Sports. What better way to do it than against great fighters like Shakur, a fighter that has been calling me out for quite some time already, more than a couple of years ago. This is Oscar Valdez talking. I can't wait to get that ring and try and accomplish my dream, said Valdez. We denied the Emmanuel Navarrete fight because we didn't want that fight. The promoter was trying to make a fight between me and Navarrete and then a fight with Shakur. I wasn't really a fan of it because I wanted to jump to the Shakur fight because that was a fight that the fans wanted. We owe ourselves to the fans, and if the fans want us to fight, we have to do it. I always rise when the competition gets bigger. So with Shakur, it depends on what he brings to the table. We all know his style. He has the amateur pedigree, but I'm also a two-time Olympian. I've been in there with all kinds of styles, all sorts of styles, southpaws, orthodox, tall, short fighters. It's nothing new to me. Valdez talking this shit. Leave that needle alone, though. As I said before, once when the competition rises, I rise with the competition. I'm going to do my best to win this fight. Without a doubt, said Valdez. When asked if this fight that he needs to show that he's improving. With every fight, I'm showing that I'm improving, especially being with Eddie Reynoso. I've already learned something different. Over the years, I feel like I'm improving my skills, said Valdez. Oscar's training Eddie Reynoso might not have the knowledge to overcome the advantages that Stevenson has in that fight. Listen, it is what it is, man. We're gonna see who the better fighter, and we're gonna see who has the better thought process when they step in the ring, man. Cause your mental game has to be sharp, man. Them blades have to be very, very sharp. You know what I'm saying? Because a fighter, one thing about boxers, I remember they used to call fighters dummies. But really, if you think about it, you can be trained how to fight. You can be this brutish type of a boxer, but you have to be able to make command decisions once you split the ropes. Canelo said he'd be boxing until about 37 years old. These bum ass articles never account for the questions asked. They quoting Shakur like he was just rambling. No, man, they made some good points in that, Mitch, for real. That's what a quote is. You take what the fighter said and you put it in writing, you script it just the way they said it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's Stevenson. He feels confident in himself, bro. I believe that he believes what he's talking about. Shakur didn't just offer the Puerto Rican shit. Interview asked him if this fight was Mexico versus Puerto Rican. Hey, man, he's just letting the people know. If you look at Shakur Stevens, you can tell he has something in him. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a Puerto Rican mixed with black, but sometimes straight up Puerto Ricans look black themselves. So I'm really looking extremely with vested interest in this Shakur Stevens Oscar Valdez fight, man. It's gonna be nice, bro. That's just gonna be nice. I think, right now, that's one of the bigger fights. Outside of Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas, this is one of the bigger fights, man. Real talk. Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez, both undefeated. Valdez was talking his shit. Stevenson was talking his shit. It's gonna come down to who performs better in the ring, bro. Both of them have experience. Oscar Valdez is a tough mofo, man. He's tough. But the one thing about it for Shakur Stevenson, I haven't seen him where he had, just like they said over here in the article, I haven't seen Shakur Stevenson be placed in a situation where he has to really use that dog in him, use that heart like that. I haven't seen him wobbled yet. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him up against the ropes, pretty much fighting for his life, trying to weather the storm, got to hold on a little bit, got to walk his opponent, to the ring, let the ref break, go back, they try to fight. We're going to see, dog. We're going to see. Real talk. We are going to see what Oscar Valdez has to bring to the table and what Shakur Stevenson has to bring to the table. We're going to see who's there to eat and who gets up from the table first. Period. It's going to be a good name on whoever. It's going to be a good name on their record. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? And plus, it's for the unification, the WBC and WBO unification. Man, this is going to be crazy. This is a sleeper, man. For real. This is a sleeper because it's a 50-50 fight. But more people, they're not going to call it a 50-50 fight. Because they're not going to just take the power and the experience that Oscar Valdez has because of his, him popping dirty and him coming off that last fight where they thought he lost, right? So it's a lot of doubt as to what type of Valdez is going to show up, because you remember in the article Valdez say it's all about what type of Shakur, what Shakur is going to show up. No, it's all about what Valdez is going to show up, because you pop dirty and we're trying to see how you look off the juice. Then when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, we're just going to see what type of game plan that Stevenson wants to enact. What type of game plan we looking at with this? Let us know. What type of game plan we think about? If it's gonna be the Toka Conclara and Nakathelia, that ain't gonna work, man. People gonna be booing the shit out of you. I consider Shakur Stevens the emperor of boxing for real, because he's on the rise. Whether y'all want to look at it or not, Shakur Stevens is on the rise. Believe that. I'm sick of these trash ass old school writers watching YouTubers and stealing their content. That's my main issue. Call the fighter and get the scoop. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I guarantee you they won't quote none of my shit. You know what I'm saying? They gotta quote whoever they have. Like, look, some of these YouTube guys, they have a rapport with some of these writers. That's how they get their information, because these writers get the scoop, and sometimes they pass it off or send the press release or email, to these damn YouTube channels, and they kind of pretty much break the news sometime to these YouTube channels when they getting ready to put out this article. So I think it's cool for some of these outlets, these media outlets, to show love to the YouTube community. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not hating. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can see if they just going to the same YouTube channel and posting the same shit all over again. It's good that they up here giving some type of shine. It's all good, bro. I don't mind that at all. I don't. I can tell you this. I know it's a lot of people talking about Canelo Alvarez right now. Like, Canelo Alvarez is the talk of the town right now. What the conversation also should include is, how do we get the next fighter in line to emulate what Canelo has going on? Are you just going to sit back and watch pound for pound or cash cows be one of one for years upon years? You know what I'm saying? That gets a little bit boring, don't it? Like, are we going to sit here and just watch Canelo continue to... Why aren't we trying to find a way to raise up or talk about some scenarios as to the next fighter that can make that type of money? You imagine if they didn't pay Canelo the huge, purses that he's getting, if they wanted to kind of itemize that and raise up other fighters with that type of money, how good it would be for the sport. Like, really, it will inject some health into boxing, because you will have more fighters that's getting paid, not just average pay, but you know what I'm saying? Canelo is such a huge gap between Canelo and the rest of the field. It's a huge freaking gap, bro. We should have some type of metric on how to build up the next 2 or 3 or 4 in line, number 2, 3, or 4 in line, and be cash cows. You know what I'm saying? I mean, conversation wise, because Canelo is just at the peak of the motherfucking ridge line, walking all by itself. It ain't nobody else. They down at the bottom at the basin. They at the basin. Canelo, look, I'm over here, Canelo. They waving their hands back and forth like they trying to wave down a plane. SOS, we over here. Canelo's up there, goddamn, taking deep breaths and inhaling and shit, head in the clouds, walking with mountain goats and shit. He's doing Canelo shit. Canelo's doing Canelo type of ish. Everybody else is at the basin. They looking up. How Canelo get up there, dog? Do you see any fresh footprints? Look, stop tripping, bro. You know damn well Canelo didn't walk up that motherfucker. He was flown up there and dropped the fuck off. That's how he got up there. Oh, you right, dog. You're right. What was I thinking he would be climbing up there? Man, they probably dropped him off up there in a safe, location at the LZ. You know what I'm saying? The landing zone. And dropped him off and shit. He said, hey, come back later. I'm just gonna mingle with the mountain goats and just, find myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find Keith Thurman and see if he's up here playing his vuvuzela. For real, that's Canelo, dog. Hey, Michael Johnson Boxing talking more in the building. What's good with you, bro? He said, nah, say it ain't so. Yeah, it is so, bro, but not as bad as you think. You know what I'm saying? I side with the Charlos in this case because their cousins seem like, he's just a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he take advantage of the fluency that they've earned, and he's the one to get fucked up first. He comes over there fucked up, and then he gets, he drinks even more when he's there. And then before you know it, Charlo's like, hey, what cuzzo? What cuzzo? Anybody seen cuzzo? He's out there goddamn doing burnouts in the grass and shit. Speeding up and down the street. Fight Hype just hired some Latino punk. Simple as asking Bivol about Canelo's car and shit. Bivol tried to keep it professional. He should have slapped dude to the ground. And see, that's where we at. Like, we have, look, we have promotions that's really pushing only a few channels. These channels have, let's call them the proper term, employees, assistants. They go after these fights and they get the content and footage. And from what I know, from what I heard, they get paid off the views that it get. So they telling these assistants to go out here and get the footage. And then depending on the views it get, that's what you get paid. It's almost like a deferred payment. So for them to go up there and ask another fighter questions, you also have to factor in this too. They're probably being told, do not ask any basic ass questions. Ask some questions that may ruffle the feathers and get up underneath their skin and get a reaction out of it, because this is Fight Hype. We want them to get hype, not just from the fight, but we want them to get hype off the questions that you asking them. Don't ask them no soft shit. Ask them some shit, that's dealing with the fight and everything. But every now and then, shoot the bow and arrow, goddammit. We need them bow and arrow questions. The ones that pierce the deepest. We need them bow and arrow questions. So go ahead and ask Bivol something stupid. And then see what he has to say. And like you said, if Bivol was keeping it professional, good. I can tell you somebody who wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you Canelo would have said, man, why y'all get him out of here, man? Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here. Do that stupid question, loco la cabeza, stupido. You know what I'm saying? Go to my bendejo and get your ass up out of here. Asking them dumb ass. Canelo would have been speaking English like a G. Get this bum ass motherfucker up out of here, man. Ask me a stupid question about Bivol's vehicle, man. Get him the fuck up out of here. Fight Hype might turn around and ask Canelo a question like, well, if Mexico went to war, Canelo, right now, say what's going on, what we know, would you go over there and help fight for the country? After all the money that you made already, would you go over there with all the millions and fight? Would you put yourself on the front lines there, Canelo? Get this guy up out of here, man. This is a dummy. This guy's stupid. Get him up out of here. Canelo goddamn talk English, man. He say, man, get this fool up out of here. He's stupid. Fucking mountain goats be climbing the steepest hill ever to find salt to lick. Yeah, man. And they also be falling to their death sometime too. But look, it's funny you mentioned that, because I consider that like, the mountain goats are being somewhat crackish in a way. They're dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a desire to place themselves on such a steep ledge that doesn't even seem like it's climbable from the human perspective. From the human perspective, we can't do it. But to a goat with 4 legs now, they can go up there and lick this salt. on something that's damn near looking vertical. But some of them fall to their death too. So they fall to their death, and the only thing they can take to the goat heaven is the last licks. You know how many licks it took to get to that death, just like a lollipop. How many licks did it take before you fell on your head and realized that, God damn it, I thought I had this shit down to a T. That shit is dangerous, bro. Bibble barely speaks English. Dude wasting questions on dumb shit. Only Ellie get away with that dumb shit. I like Ellie, but he's doing that shit too. The one thing people should know about Ellie is, his pops is connected, and we'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave it at that. He gets to run around and do what he do. Now, one thing I don't have time for is for people running back and telling Ellie, and then Ellie can go back and run and tell that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't have time for that shit. Fucking ghosts be taking their babies up there too. Like, bring your ass on. Yeah, man. Can you imagine, dog? Can you imagine if us as human beings told our youngins, I want you to go rock climbing with me. Go in there and get your shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna teach you how to put this C clamp on and put your harness on the right way. And we're gonna go climb. Goddamn, we're gonna go up about 3 miles. I said about a mile and a half up Everest. Okay, it's gonna be cold out there, so make sure you dress accordingly. They wouldn't do that shit, dog. They're goddamn D-fast to be goddamn flying in on your ass so quick. We're taking your kids, and you getting locked up for child abuse. You know damn well it's too cold out here, and that mountain is too steep for your 3-year-old to be out here. For real. Man, that's all I got right now. I'm still waiting on the other information to come out on who Cambozo is fighting. Is if it's going to be who, and who. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Haven't heard any word back if Lomachenko is going to be returning back yet. We're still trying to find out what is the state of the union with Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I'm hearing, Catterell, he pretty much submitted his grievance to the police or something like that, or whatever he's submitting that to. He feels that he was wronged and he should have won that fight. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but if that is indeed the case, I think Josh Taylor is going to abort mission and move up to 147, and then it'll open up a slew of doors for the young lions that's sitting at 140 that's already got their cage open to go up there and contend for a title. You already know who the names are. You still got Ruger Rue looking to become a champion again. You got Gary Antoine Russell looking to become a champ. I mean, it's so many people. 140. Teofimo Lopez. I'm telling you, he's gonna do big things over that division. Big things. He's gonna do big things, bro. But now that the Gary Antoine Russell has finally got a big, a good name on his resume, and he stopped him. You know what I'm saying? He's the first one to stop him. But guess what? Maybe we'll see some of these guys, the best fight the best. We'll see a Teofimo Lopez fight Antoine Russell, or a Teo fight Regis. Still have Jack Catterall. Come on, Catterall's still in the picture now. He's still in the picture, dog. And then you got Robert Easter in that bunch. You have Robert Easter down there. You have a lot of big names. It's going to be interesting. Now, I don't think nobody's going to be able to bail out Verdejo for shit. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Verdejo is done. And even then, as long as he's been locked up, if that even was to come close to happening, he'd have to get back and, man, hell no. Look now, I try to tell people that, think about it. As heinous as his crime was, if Verdejo, let's just say he was to get 2 years, 3 years, let's just say, and he get out or whatever in 2 years, he'll come back to boxing like nothing happened, man, because it's been cats that's competing in boxing with murder charges. They did their time and came back. Even after James Butler hit Richard Franklin, punched him with no glove on, he did time and he still came back to the sport and fought a couple of fights. Now, of course, he went up there and killed Max Kellerman's family member. You know what I'm saying? His brother. I mean, that was really fucked up. Dude was fucked up in the head. But anyway, I mean, boxing has no standards for you to come in there and compete. It's just all about what paperwork you got on you, as far as who you sign with. It ain't no conflict of interest. But as far as that other paperwork, outside of if you a felon, if you got paperwork, and it don't matter what you did, to a point, you can still come back and fight. You can get that kangaroo furlough for Verdejo. I don't know, man. I don't think nobody's getting him out. Ramirez will get another shot for Tyler at 140. Got to be careful though, because Taylor exposed him, dropped him twice. Rougarou will probably stop him. I didn't think Ramirez was gonna stay down there that long. Like, I thought he's one of those names that's gonna be moving up too. But I might be wrong. I thought I heard some scuttlebutt that Ramirez will be moving up also. I don't know. You never know with these guys. Let me see. Hey, but shout out to the TBV. They have a different setup, Studio A. He's gotten to the point where if that's what you really want to do in your life, right? If you want to switch positions, get a team, change up the format for which you're doing your the way you are performing or way you are speaking to your audience on your platform. TBV, we can say we seen him this place. Now, he's over there in Vegas, and they pretty much gave him entirely new layout. And it looks good. It's a nice layout. I like it. You can see everybody that's at the table. I think Blair the Flair Cobb really set that off with his interview. But shout out to Ness. I know a lot of people have this and that to say. But look, whenever you're trying to achieve anything in life, people are never gonna, have all kind words to say about you. Along the journey, you're gonna come on some bumps and bruises, and I mean bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying? Some rope and some obstacles and shit. It's not so much that you're looking for them; they're gonna be there because the individuals that have basically put them out there for you to slow down, they wasn't in your good interest to begin with. So you have to get past them and keep it moving. And then you ask yourself, like, why would they be putting out obstacles and shit for me? Because that's how people think. Some people think that way. They see you growing and they might feel some type of way. They might, how word of mouth is. You have one person talking to the next. And then before you know it, 5 people heard the same lie from one person, but yet none of them out of the 5 have hit you up via DM or email and say, hey, I got something to ask you, bro. I'm not going to disclose where I heard it from, but did this, and this happen? That doesn't happen this day and time. People can tell a 10-person lie, and all of them will believe it and feel some type of way, and come to find out it's totally false. So, good shit with Ness and his co-op, his constituent, them basically elevating their presence in this media game. I know it's a lot of people would like to be in that position, but for I myself, like, if that was my drive and determining factor, yeah. But you have to understand, you have to be at the appointed place of duty every single time. And you have to understand that you have to be very frugal with your money because there's no retirement plan in this. You can work in this type of environment. It's no retirement plan. There's no health benefits. It's almost like you running an independent brand that you built from the ground floor up. And the only benefits is what you have independently. You know what I'm saying? Your health benefits is going to come from your own personal health care. That's the wild part about this shit. I had to be in a point and place to do these for 20 years. I'm just unable to say I would want to do that right now at my age. And, you know, but I will salute the ones who absolutely are trying to do that. I just look at shit from a different perspective, for real. Like I say, you know, if I was to be in that position, I won't have to be there all the time. I really couldn't move as I want to move. Because you have to be there at the appointed place. Now, granted, he's gonna meet some good people. He's gonna be able to meet some people. You know, they have a budget now. I remember Ness saying they have a budget, which is great. So he's gonna be able to meet some good people, further educate himself. He's gonna become a bigger deal than he was before. You're gonna see, you know, PBC and top rank and potentially, I don't know. I don't know if Eddie Hearns, he in good graces with Eddie Hearns again, but you know, even Matchroom, you know, you might see them over there doing what some of these other outlets are doing. Beyond the Glove, Seconds Out, you know what I'm saying, and all that shit. Man, that's my time, shawty. I got some things to go. Say TVV is cool. Watching this get emotional over Wilder and Meltdown. That one time was funny as shit. Hey man, people sit up here and say they ain't fan of fighters. You know what I'm saying? I say, you got to be a fan of a fighter because if you dare see them in public and you ask them for a picture, you a fan. Well, what's all this hard shit? That's the problem. These niggas want to be fans of fight. Yes. Yeah, I'm a fan of the sport. And, you know, just like you say you are, but also I'm a fan of certain fighters, heavy. Period. So I don't give a damn what people sit up here and say, I'm a fan of the sport. So when you finally get to, you know, meet one of these fighters that you've been speaking on, and they might be one of your favorite fights, you're not going to ask them for a picture? Yeah, you are. Well, I'm out. Y'all hold it down. Turn up to tune in the World Combat Sports.